हेलो डियर एस्पायरेंट्स, अस्सलाम वालेकुम। कैसे हैं आप लोग? ठीक हैं। ये जो सीरीज़ मैं स्टार्ट कर रहा हूँ ये उन लोगों के लिए है जो सीएसएस के एग्ज़ाम्स में अपेयर होने जा रहे हैं। इसमें सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट चीज़ ये है कि इस सेशन में हम कंपलसरी सब्जेक्ट पाकिस्तान अफेयर्स जो कि 100 मार्क्स का सब्जेक्ट है उसकी मुकम्मल आउटलाइन डिस्कस करेंगे। इन डिटेल इन डेप्थ हम डिस्कस करेंगे। तो आप लोगों ने अगर प्रॉपर इसकी तैयारी करनी है बिना अकेडमी के, बिना किसी जगह पे पैसे दिए, तो आप यहाँ से इस वीडियो को फॉलो करेंगे तो इंशाल्लाह आपकी मुकम्मल तैयारी हो जाएगी। इसका मैं एक ब्रीफ ओवरव्यू दूंगा। तो अभी आपको मैं इसके जो आउटलाइंस के इम्पोर्टेंट या सारे जो टॉपिक्स हैं वो डिस्कस करेंगे हम। तो तैयार हो जाएं। आपके पास अपनी नोटबुक और पेन होना चाहिए ताकि आप जो इम्पोर्टेंट टर्म्स हैं, जो इम्पोर्टेंट हेडिंग्स हैं या कोई ऐसी बात जो साथ बताई जाएगी, एग्जांपल्स या फैक्ट्स, उनको नोट कर सकें। चलें हम इसको बाकायदा शुरू करते हैं। हमारा पहला जो टॉपिक है वो है आइडियोलॉजी ऑफ पाकिस्तान, जिसके अंदर डेफिनेशन एंड हम एलुसिडेशन हिस्टोरिकल एस्पेक्ट्स देखेंगे। ख़ास तौर पे मुस्लिम रूल इन द सब कॉन्टिनेंट, बरसीर में मुसलमानों का जो रूल रहा, इट्स डाउनफॉल एंड एफर्ट्स फॉर रेनेसेंस, दैन मूवमेंट्स फॉर रिफॉर्म्स, जिसमें शेख अहमद सरहिंदी, शाह वलीउल्लाह, सैयद अहमद शहीद, अलीगढ़ देवबंद नदवा तहरीकें जो हैं इनका जिक्र करेंगे। अदर एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूशंस, सिंध मदरसा एंड इस्लामिया कॉलेज पेशावर। फिर आइडियोलॉजी ऑफ पाकिस्तान इन द लाइट ऑफ स्पीचेस एंड स्टेटमेंट्स ऑफ द लामा इकबाल एंड कायद अज़म मोहम्मद अली जिन्ना हम डिटेल में देखेंगे। दूसरा जो इसका टॉपिक है वो है लैंड एंड पीपल ऑफ पाकिस्तान, जिसमें हम जियोग्राफी, सोसाइटी, नेचुरल रिसोर्सेज, पाकिस्तान के एग्रीकल्चर, इंडस्ट्री और एजुकेशन को देखेंगे विद रेफरेंस टू करैक्टरिस्टिक्स, ट्रेंड्स एंड प्रॉब्लम्स। तीसरा अहम टॉपिक है पाकिस्तान एंड चेंजिंग रीजनल apparatus। चौथा है न्यूक्लियर प्रोग्राम ऑफ पाकिस्तान, इट्स सेफ्टी एंड सिक्योरिटी और इंटरनेशनल कंसर्न्स जो इस पर हैं। फिफ्थ वन इज़ रीजनल कोऑपरेशन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, सार्क, ईसीओ, एससीओ एंड द रोल ऑफ पाक। सिक्स सिविल मिलिट्री रिलेशंस की बात करता है। फिर इकोनॉमिक चैलेंजेस इन पाकिस्तान जो हैं। एट्थ में हम नॉन ट्रेडिशनल सिक्योरिटी थ्रेट्स देखेंगे और रोल ऑफ नॉन स्टेट एक्टर्स को देखेंगे। फिर पाकिस्तान रोल इन रीजन। 10 पॉइंट है द पैलेस्टाइन इशू, जो कि इस वक्त को पता है लास्ट मोर देन 1 ईयर ये दुनिया का सबसे बड़ा एक कन्फ्लिक्ट बना हुआ है। फिर सिक्योरिटी जो चेंजिंग सिक्योरिटी डायनामिक्स फॉर पाकिस्तान है, जिसमें चैलेंजेस टू नेशनल सिक्योरिटी फॉर पाकिस्तान। फिर पॉलिटिकल एवोल्यूशन सिंस 1971। इसके बाद पाकिस्तान और यूएस वार ऑन टेरर पर जिस तरह से थे उस सारे का हम जायज़ा लेंगे। फॉरेन पॉलिसी ऑफ पाकिस्तान पोस्ट 9/11 और फिर एवोल्यूशन ऑफ डेमोक्रेटिक सिस्टम इन पाकिस्तान। एथनिक इश्यूज एंड नेशनल इंटीग्रेशन 14 नंबर पे हम देखेंगे। 15 पे है, सॉरी 16 था ये, 17 पे हाइड्रोपॉलिटिक्स, वाटर इश्यूज इन डोमेस्टिक एंड रीजनल कंटेक्स्ट, पाकिस्तान नेशनल इंटरेस्ट, challenges to sovereignty, Pakistan's energy problems and their effects, Pakistan's relations with neighbors including India, Pakistan and India relations since 1947, then Kashmir issue है, the Kashmir issue, then the war in Afghanistan since 1979 and its impact on and challenges to Pakistan in the post 2014 era। और फिर प्रॉक्सी वॉर्स हैं, रोल ऑफ एक्सटर्नल एलिमेंट्स। उसके बाद इकोनॉमिक कंडीशंस ऑफ पाकिस्तान, द मोस्ट रिसेंट इकोनॉमिक सर्वे जो हर साल मई में आता है, और द प्रीवियस एंड करंट बजट्स एंड द प्रॉब्लम्स एंड परफॉर्मेंस ऑफ मेजर सेक्टर्स ऑफ इकॉनमी। इसके अलावा 27 नंबर पर हम देखेंगे द रिसेंट कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल एंड लीगल डिबेट्स, द लेटेस्ट कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अमेंडमेंट्स एंड इम्पोर्टेंट लेजिस्लेशंस, लीगल केसेस एंड द रोल ऑफ हायर कोर्ट्स। ये 28वां है, आखिरी टॉपिक जो है पाकिस्तान अफेयर्स के सिलेबस का, वो है द प्रिवेलिंग सोशल प्रॉब्लम्स ऑफ पाकिस्तान एंड द स्ट्रेटजीज टू डील विद दैम। जिसमें पॉवर्टी, हेल्थ, एजुकेशन एंड सैनिटेशन है। एक नज़र ये भी देख लें, ये कुछ सजेस्टेड रीडिंग्स हैं ऑफिशियल जो एफपीएससी का सीएसएस सिलेबस है उसमें, इसमें से भी अगर आप कोई बुक पढ़ सकते हैं तो दैट विल बी वेरी गुड। ओके, अब हम शुरू करते हैं अपना सारा इसके ऊपर मुकम्मल अपनी डिस्कशन शुरू करते हैं, ठीक है। और फिर देखते हैं कि अच्छा, तो ये जो मैंने अभी आपके साथ आउटलाइन डिस्कस की है पाकिस्तान अफेयर्स की, 100 नंबर का ये पेपर है, इसके हम ये सारी इसकी मेजर टॉपिक्स हमने देख ली हैं आउटलाइन में। अब हम इनको थोड़ा सा तफसीली तौर पे देखते हैं ताकि आपको समझ आए कि बेसिकली हमें किन चीज़ों पर ज़्यादा फोकस करना है और कितना करना है। तो फर्स्ट वन है आइडियोलॉजी ऑफ पाकिस्तान। अब इसकी जैसे मैंने बताया था डेफिनेशन, वो सारी चीज़ें हमने पीछे डिस्कस कर ली है यहाँ तक। इसके अंदर हम शेख अहमद सरिंदी, शाह वलीउल्लाह, इन सब का डिस्कस करेंगे रोल, ठीक है, जो इन्होंने रिफॉर्म्स की मूवमेंट्स की थी। फिर फर्दर भी इसमें वन बाय वन आप देखते हैं। ये हम अब अमली तौर पर आइडियोलॉजी ऑफ पाकिस्तान को देखें तो इसकी डेफिनेशन एलिसिडेशन यह है कि पहली तो बात है आइडियोलॉजी ऑफ पाकिस्तान है जो बेस्ड है जो है ना इस्लामिक आइडियोलॉजी पर। तो अब हम इसको प्रॉपर देखते हैं। द आइडियोलॉजी ऑफ पाकिस्तान इज़ द फाउंडेशनल बिलीफ सिस्टम एम्फसाइजिंग द एस्टेब्लिशमेंट ऑफ एन इस्लामिक society where Muslims can live according to their religious, culture, and social values. It is based on the concept of Muslims as a distinct nation with unique traditions, customs, and religious identity. अब historical aspects को देखते हैं where first one is the Muslim rule in the subcontinent. Muslim rule in the subcontinent began with the Delhi Sultanate in the 12th century and reached its peak during the Mughal Empire. This period marked significant advancements in governance, culture, and education. However, the decline of Muslim rule was caused by internal conflicts, weak leadership, and external invasions, eventually leading to British colonization. Second one is downfall and efforts for renaissance. The fall of the Mughal Empire in the 18th century created challenges for Muslims, including the political marginalization and socio-economic hardship. In response, efforts for survival began to restore Muslim identity and influence. Movements for reforms were first one, the Sheikh Ahmad Sarhindi. He emphasized adherence to Sharia and fought against un-Islamic practices during Akbar's rule, striving to uphold Islamic values. Most prominent person in the movements were Shah Waliullah. He aimed to unify Muslim community, translating the Quran into Persian and spreading Islamic teachings to strengthen faith and solidarity. Then third one is Sayyid Ahmad Sheed. He led a movement against British imperialism and Sikh oppression, advocating for Islamic governance and socio-political rights. Okay, now there is educational movements. Okay. Fourth one, educational movements. Here, reformers like Sir Syed Ahmad Khan initiated the Aligarh movement to promote modern education and bridge the gap between Muslims and Western knowledge. Deoband and Nadwa institutions were established to preserve Islamic teachings. Sindh Madrasa and Islamic College Peshawar contributed to preparing Muslim youth for leadership roles. Then ideology of Pakistan in the light of Allama Iqbal and Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah. First one is vision of Allama Iqbal. Allama Iqbal envisioned a separate homeland for Muslims where they could freely practice their religion and culture. He emphasized the spiritual, cultural, and political distinctiveness of Muslims in his speech and writings. Then second one is leadership of Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah. Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah consistently advocated for Muslim rights and highlighted the importance of creating a state based on Islamic principles. His speeches and efforts united Muslims under the banner of Pakistan, culminating in the creation of an independent homeland. So now we are going to the second heading, that is land and people of Pakistan, where we will discuss the geography, society, natural resources, agriculture, industry, education, with reference to characteristics, trends, and problems. So first one is geography. Pakistan is located in South Asia, bordered with India to east, Afghanistan and Iran to the west, China to the north, and the Arabian Sea to the south. The country the country features diverse geographical landscapes, including mountains, deserts, fertile plains, and coastal areas. The northern region is dominated by the Himalayas and Hindu Kush mountain ranges, home to some of the highest peaks in the world, such as K2. The Indus River, one of the longest rivers in the world, flows through the country, providing vital water resources for agriculture and industry. The diverse geography contributes to the country's natural beauty and rich biodiversity, as well as its climate variations. Second one is society. Pakistan has a rich cultural heritage shaped by a blend of various ethnic groups, languages, and religious traditions. The major ethnic groups include Punjabis, Pashtuns, Sindhis, and Baloch and Muhajirs, immigrants from India after partition. As you know, Urdu is a national language, and while regional languages like Punjabi, Pashto, Sindhi, and Balochi are widely spoken, Islam is the dominant religion, and its practices and values strongly influence societal norms and daily life. The social structure is traditionally based on familial ties, respect for elders, and a deep sense of community. But modern challenges such as urbanization, education, and gender inequality continue to shape societal dynamics. Next is natural resources. As you know, Pakistan is endowed with an array of natural resources, including coal, natural gas, oil, minerals, and water resources. The country has extensive coal reserves, especially in the Thar Desert, and considerably natural gas reserves, primarily in the Balochistan and Sindh. It also has significant deposits of copper, gold, and other minerals. The country's agricultural land benefits from water supplied by the Indus River, which is crucial for irrigation and food production. Despite these resources, Pakistan faces challenges in managing them efficiently, leading to shortages in energy and water supply. And now we will discuss agriculture, which plays a vital role in Pakistan's economy, with crops like wheat, rice, cotton, and sugarcane being primarily products. The fertile plains of the Punjab region are the backbone of Pakistan's agricultural output, with the Indus River providing essential irrigation. However, the sector faces several challenges, including water scarcity, outdated farming techniques, and vulnerability to climate change. The resilience on a single river system and inefficiency water management further exacerbates these issues, reducing agricultural productivity and threatening food security. Now we will discuss industry. Pakistan's industrial sector is diverse, comprising textiles, cement, food processing, chemicals, and machinery manufacturing. The textile industry, in particular, is a major contributor to the economy, being one of the largest employers and export earners. The country also has a growing manufacturing sector, though it faces challenges such as inadequate infrastructure, energy shortages, and competition from neighboring countries with lower production costs. The industrial sector has the potential for growth but requires substantial investment in technology and modernization to compete globally. And now we will discuss about education. The education system in Pakistan faces several challenges, including low literacy rate, insufficient infrastructure, and disparities in access to quality education, especially between urban and rural areas. The literacy rate remains low, particularly among women and in rural regions. The public education system is often underfunded, and there is a growing divide between the quality of education in urban and rural areas. However, efforts to improve the sector include the introduction of new educational policies, the establishment of universities and technical institutions, and increasing foreign aid for education programs. Despite these efforts, the education system continues to struggle with issues of quality accessibility, and outdated curricula. Now, characteristics, trends, and problems. As you know, Pakistan's land and people are marked by a blend of traditional values and modern challenges. The country has seen rapid urbanization with an increasing number of people moving to cities for better opportunities. Though urban areas are also facing issues like overcrowding and inadequate infrastructure, the economy continues to face challenges such as inflation, poverty, and unemployment, while the agriculture sector struggles with environmental issues like water scarcity and soil degradation. In terms of industry, Pakistan is working to diversify its manufacturing base and expand its export markets, but it faces stiff competition globally. Education remains a critical area for development, requiring significant reforms to improve literacy rates and providing equitable access to quality education for all. These trends and challenges illustrate the complexities of Pakistan's socio-economic landscape, highlighting the need for concerted efforts to address these issues. Okay, now we will start with third important topic, which is Pakistan and changing regional apparatus. Pakistan and changing regional apparatus. So let's start with overview. Pakistan's geopolitical position in South Asia has placed it at the crossroads of the key regional and global powers, and its foreign relations have evolved in response to changing political, economic, and strategic dynamics. The changing regional apparatus refers to the shifting alliances, political frameworks, and economic arrangements in South Asia and beyond. Particularly in the relation to Pakistan's role in these changes, Pakistan's foreign policy has been significantly influenced by regional security concerns, historical conflicts, and strategic partnerships, both within the Asian region and globally. Then, regional relations and shifting alliances. So, Pakistan's foreign policy is shaped by its interactions with neighboring countries such as India, Afghanistan, China, and Iran. The relationship with India, especially over the Kashmir issue, has been a constant source of tension. Both nations have fought multiple wars, and the rivalry rivalry continues to influence regional stability. However, there have been periods of dialogue and peace initiatives with the aim of resolving disputes through diplomacy. Pakistan has also maintained a complex relationship with Afghanistan, affected by the ongoing conflict in Afghanistan, the rise of Taliban governance, and concerns over border security and terrorism. So we can say Pakistan's relations with China have grown stronger in recent years, especially with China-Pakistan Economic Corridor (CPEC) project, which aims to create a network of infrastructure and trade links between the two nations. This partnership has provided Pakistan with economic opportunities and enhanced strategic alignment. Pakistan's ties with Iran have fluctuated over time, influenced by shared religious bonds and the geopolitical dynamics of the Middle East. Pakistan has sought to maintain friendly relations with Iran, balancing these ties with its strategic alliance with the United States and Saudi Arabia. Impact of global power shifts. Let's discuss it. Global power shifts have had a profound impact on Pakistan's foreign policy, especially as the United States and China become more engaged in strategic competition. Pakistan has navigated this complex landscape by aligning with various global powers for economic and military support. The US Pakistan relationship has historically been centered on security cooperation, particularly regarding Afghanistan and the war on terror. However, this relationship has been tested by differences in approach, and especially following the US withdrawal from Afghanistan in 2021 and the changing priorities of US foreign policy. China's rise as a global power has presented Pakistan with new opportunities for economic collaboration, but it has also placed Pakistan in a position where it must balance its ties with China a relationship with the US and other while maintaining a relationship with the US and other Western countries. Additionally, relationship with the US and other Western countries. Additionally, Pakistan's relations with Saudi Arabia and other Gulf states have played a significant role in country's economic and military strategy, with Pakistan benefiting from financial aid, trade agreements, and remittances from the Pakistani diaspora in these regions. Economic and strategic challenges. The changing regional apparatus has also affected Pakistan's economic standing. While CPEC promises significant infrastructural and economic benefits, Pakistan faces challenges in utilizing this opportunity effectively. Political instability, governance issues, and security concerns have hindered the full potential of regional economic cooperation. Additionally, Pakistan's reliance on foreign aid and loans, particularly from China and international financial institutions, has led to growing concerns affecting country's financial stability. Strategically, Pakistan has faced increasing pressure to address security concerns uh, related to terrorism, militancy, and border tensions. The rise of non-state actors and the instability in Afghanistan have posed challenges for Pakistan's security apparatus. At the same time, the changing regional dynamics, particularly the growing influence of China and Russia in South Asia, have created new opportunities for Pakistan to diversify its foreign relations, reduce its dependency on Western powers, and strengthen its position in the region. Now we will discuss the Pakistan's role in regional security and cooperation. Pakistan plays a crucial role in regional security arrangements, particularly in the context of South Asian stability and peacekeeping efforts. The country has been actively involved in the Shanghai Cooperation Organization (SCO), a regional grouping focused on security, economic, and political cooperation. Pakistan's participation in the SCO reflects its desire to strengthen ties with Central Asian countries, China, and Russia, while also balancing its strategic relationship with West. Pakistan's efforts to mediate conflicts in the region, particularly in Afghanistan and with India, have been an essential part of its foreign policy. Although challenges remain, Pakistan's position as a key player in South Asian security is undeniable, and it continues to adapt to the changing regional apparatus to maintain its influence and security. Now we will conclude it in a short paragraph. Pakistan's foreign policy is constantly evolving in response to shifting regional and global dynamics. Its relationships with the neighboring countries and major global powers have been shaped by historical conflicts, strategic alliances, and economic priorities. Its relationships with neighboring countries and major global powers have been shaped by historical conflicts, strategic alliances, and economic priorities. The changing regional apparatus represents both challenges and opportunities for Pakistan, and the country's ability to navigate these challenges will be crucial in determining its future role in the region and the world. As Pakistan faces growing economic pressures and security concerns, its foreign policy will need to adapt to maintain regional stability, foster economic growth, and strengthen its global standing. Okay, now we will start a new topic. जुड़े रहें साथ इंशाल्लाह. Next topic is topic number 4, nuclear program of Pakistan, its safety and security, international concerns. Nuclear program of Pakistan. Overview of Pakistan's nuclear program. Pakistan's nuclear program began in 1970s primarily in response to India's successful nuclear tests in 1974. The program was driven by the desire to establish a credible deterrent against India's growing nuclear capabilities. Under the leadership of Prime Minister Zulfikar Ali Bhutto and the scientific guidance of Dr. Abdul Qadir Khan, uh, Pakistan pursued nuclear technology covertly. In 1998, Pakistan conducted its first successful nuclear test, known as Chagi 1, in response to India's nuclear tests earlier that year. This made Pakistan the seventh country in the world to possess nuclear weapons, making a significant milestone in its military and strategic capabilities. Pakistan's weapons program is considered a cornerstone of its defense strategy, particularly in terms of maintaining a balance of power with India. The country has since developed a range of nuclear capable delivery systems, including ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, and aircraft capable of delivering nuclear payloads. Pakistan maintains a policy of minimum credible deterrence, aiming to ensure that its nuclear arsenal is sufficient to deter potential adversaries without engaging in a costly arms race. Safety and security of Pakistan's nuclear assets. The safety and security of Pakistan's nuclear assets have been a subject of both domestic and international concern given the country's strategic position with its ongoing conflict with India and the threat of terrorism within its borders. Ensuring the security of its nuclear arsenal is a priority of the government. Pakistan has established robust security measures around its nuclear infrastructure, including military and civilian control systems, specialized nuclear security forces, and stringent access controls. The Pakistan Atomic Energy Commission (PAEC) oversees the country's nuclear program, with the military playing a central role in its security. Pakistan's nuclear command and control system is designed to prevent unauthorized use and ensure that any nuclear response is carefully deliberated. The country has also implemented physical security measures at its nuclear facilities to protect them from sabotage, theft, or attack. The presence of advanced safety features in its nuclear plants and storage facilities is intended to prevent accidents or mishandling of nuclear materials. Despite these efforts, there are concerns regarding the vulnerability of Pakistan's nuclear assets to extremist groups, the threat of nuclear terrorism, particularly given the presence of violent extremist organizations in the region, has been a point of concern for international powers. In response, Pakistan has continually reinforced its nuclear security protocols, working with international partners such as the United States and the International Atomic Energy Agency (IAEA) to enhance its nuclear security framework. International concerns and non-proliferation issues. Pakistan's nuclear program has raised significant concerns in the international community, particularly due to its strategic rivalry with India and the potential for the nuclear escalation in South Asia. Several countries, including the United States, have expressed concerns over the possibility of nuclear conflict in the region, particularly given the long standing tension between India and Pakistan, especially over the Kashmir dispute. The international community fears that any military escalation between the two nuclear armed neighbors could lead to catastrophic consequences, especially given the proximity of their nuclear arsenals. Pakistan's nuclear weapons have also placed it at odds with global non proliferation efforts. As non signatory to the Nuclear Non Proliferation Treaty (NPT), Pakistan is not bound by its provisions, which aim to prevent the spread of nuclear weapons. This has led to criticism from Western nations who argue that Pakistan's nuclear program undermines international non proliferation norms. However, Pakistan maintains that its nuclear program is purely for defensive purposes and is essential to ensuring its national security in the face of India's nuclear capabilities. The international community, particularly the United States, has engaged in dialogue with Pakistan to prevent the further spread of nuclear weapons and to encourage measures for nuclear disarmament. However, Pakistan has repeatedly stated that it will not abandon its nuclear program unless there is a comprehensive and mutual reduction of nuclear weapons by all countries, particularly India. Impact of Pakistan's nuclear program on regional security. Pakistan's nuclear capabilities have had a significant impact on regional security dynamics. On one hand, the possession of nuclear weapons has provided Pakistan with a powerful deterrent against Indian aggression. On the other hand, it has also contributed to the nuclear arms race in South Asia, with India continuing to enhance its nuclear arsenal and technological capabilities. The presence of nuclear weapons has created a delicate balance of power in the region where both countries have adopted policies of deterrence rather than direct confrontation. While nuclear deterrence has prevent large scale wars between India and Pakistan, it has not completely eliminated the possibility of conflict. The risk of nuclear escalation remains a concern, particularly in the event of a miscalculation or a conventional conflict that spirals out of control. The threat of nuclear war remains a significant issue for both nations, and it underscores the importance of effective communication, confidence building measures, and diplomatic engagement between India and Pakistan. In conclusion, we can say Pakistan's nuclear program has become a central element of its defense strategy, providing a credible deterrent against regional threats, particularly from India. While the country has taken steps to ensure the safety and security of its nuclear assets, concerns remain about the potential for nuclear terrorism and the risks associated with the proliferation of nuclear technology. International concerns over Pakistan's nuclear program are largely centered around non proliferation, regional stability, and the possibility of nuclear conflict in South Asia. As Pakistan continues to develop its nuclear capabilities, it must balance its security needs with international expectations and work toward maintaining regional stability and peace through dialogue, confidence building measures, and cooperation with the global community. Dear aspirants, now we will start the fifth topic, which is the regional cooperation organizations SARC, ECO, SEO, and the role of the Pakistan. Introduction to the regional cooperation organizations. Regional cooperation organizations are platforms where countries of a specific geographic area come together to address common issues, promote economic and cultural exchange, enhance security, and cooperate on various development initiatives. Pakistan, due to its strategic location and geopolitical importance in South Asia and beyond, plays an active role in regional organizations such as SARC, South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation, ECO, Economic Cooperation Organization, and SEO, Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Each of these organizations provides Pakistan with avenues to engage with neighboring countries and regional powers, contributing to regional peace, security, and development. Number one is SARC, South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation, established in 1985 with the goal of promoting regional cooperation and development in South Asia, an area home to nearly a quarter of the world's population. The member states of the SARC include Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Maldives, Nepal, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka. The organization's primary focus is on promoting economic integration, regional cooperation in the trade and investment, cultural exchange, and environment protection. Now we will discuss Pakistan's role in SARC. First one, Pakistan plays a significant role in SARC as it is key member of South Asian region. The country actively participates in the organization's initiatives to foster economic cooperation, development, and peace in South Asia. Pakistan has worked to strengthen regional trade links and support initiatives for poverty alleviation, education, and health within the SARC framework. It has also advocated for the resolution of the long-standing conflicts in the region, particularly the Kashmir issue, through dialogue and peaceful means. However, Pakistan's relationship with India, a dominant regional power in SARC, has often hindered the full potential of the organization as political tensions between the two countries have at times led to a lack of progress on key initiatives. Despite these challenges, Pakistan remains committed to the goals of SARC and it continues to advocate for greater regional cooperation and integration. Now we will discuss challenges and opportunities in SARC. SARC has been successful in initiating several programs related to regional development. It has faced challenges in achieving substantial progress due to political tensions, especially between India and Pakistan. The organization has often been criticized for its inability to address conflicts effectively. However, the potential for deeper cooperation remains, particularly in areas like trade, tourism, and regional connectivity, where Pakistan has expressed interest in strengthening ties with its neighbors. Now we will discuss second most important international organization, regional organization, which is ECO, Economic Cooperation Organization, is a regional intergovernmental organization that was established in 1985 by Iran, Pakistan, and Turkey. Its goal is to promote economic, technical, and cultural cooperation among its members, which now include Afghanistan, Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Pakistan, Tajikistan, Turkey, Turkmenistan, and Uzbekistan. The ECO seeks to enhance trade, infrastructure, connectivity, energy cooperation, and the socio-economic developments of its member states. Pakistan's role in ECO. Pakistan is a founding member of the ECO and plays an influential role in shaping the organization's priorities. Given its central location in the region, Pakistan serves as a bridge between Central Asia, South Asia, and the Middle East, which has positioned it as a key player in the regional connectivity and trade initiatives. Pakistan has actively supported ECO's initiatives to increase intra-regional trade, improve transports transport links and promote energy cooperation. Additionally, Pakistan is involved in the development of important infrastructure projects within the ECO framework, such as the construction of roads, railway, and energy pipelines that connect Central Asia to the rest of the world via Pakistan's port. Now we will discuss challenges and opportunities in ECO. ECO has faced difficulties in realizing its full potential due to the political and economic instability in some of the member states. However, with Pakistan's emphasis on enhancing trade and connectivity with Central Asia, ECO presents significant opportunities for Pakistan in terms of economic growth, trade diversification, and energy security. Pakistan's participation in ECO has the potential to boost its regional trade links and provide access to new markets, particularly in energy rich Central Asia. Now we will see the third one, SEO, Shanghai Cooperation Organization, is a political, economic, and security organization founded in 2001 by the China, Russia, and several Central Asian countries. Its primary objectives include promoting regional security, fostering economic cooperation, and enhancing cultural exchanges. The SEO also focuses on combating terrorism, extremism, and separatism in the region, as well as addressing transnational challenges like drug trafficking and environmental degradation. Pakistan's role in SEO, as you know, Pakistan became a full member of the SEO in 2017, a significant step that marked its growing engagement with Central Asia, China, and Russia. As a member, Pakistan seeks to benefit from increased security cooperation, trade ties, and economic development initiatives within the SEO framework. Pakistan has actively participated in SEO's discussions on regional security, particularly concerning Afghanistan and terrorism. Additionally, Pakistan views the SEO as an opportunity to strengthen its economic ties with the China and Central Asia, including through initiatives like the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, which aligns with the SEO's objectives of enhancing regional connectivity. Now we'll discuss the challenges and opportunities in SEO. While the SEO provides Pakistan with an opportunity to enhance its security and economic cooperation with the powerful regional players like China and Russia, challenges remain in terms of balancing its relations with India, another key member of the SEO. The organization's focus on security issues such as combating terrorism and extremism is a particularly important for Pakistan, which faces ongoing security challenges. Economically, Pakistan stands to gain significantly from the SEO's emphasis on infrastructure development, regional trade, and connectivity projects, which can complement the CPAC and improve its access to Central Asian markets. Now start the conclusion, where Pakistan plays a crucial role in the several regional cooperation organizations including SAARC, ECO, and SEO. While each organization presents distinct challenges and opportunities, Pakistan has worked to leverage its membership to promote regional peace, security, and economic development. The country's strategic location, growing trade and connectivity initiatives, and active participation in multilateral forums position it as a key player in shaping the future of regional cooperation in South Asia and beyond. Despite the challenges posed by the political tensions and security concerns, Pakistan's role in these organizations remains vital for the promotion of regional stability and prosperity. Dear aspirants, now we are going to start the sixth most important topic, which is civil military relations in Pakistan. Civil military relations in Pakistan have played a pivotal role in the shaping the political, economic, and social landscape of the country since its inception in the 1947. The military has been a dominant force in Pakistan's politics, having ruled the country directly for a significant portion of its history, with military coups occurring in 1958, 1977, and 1999. Even during periods of civilian rule, the military has maintained significant influence over the state's key policy decisions, especially regarding security, defense, and foreign policy. This relationship between civilian leadership and the military has had profound implications for the country's governance, development, and democratic institutions. Now we will discuss historical overview of civil military relations, where Pakistan's military began exerting political influence shortly after the country's formation in 1947. The first military coup occurred in 1958 when General Ayub Khan took control of the government, marking the beginning of a long period of military dominance in Pakistani politics. Ayub Khan's regime lasted until 1969, and his successors, including General Yahya Khan, also played a central role in Pakistan's political affairs. Following a brief period of civilian rule under Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, the military again seized power in 1977 under General Ziaul Haq, who ruled until his death in 1988. Zia's rule saw significant militarization of the political system, with the military deeply entrenched in state institutions, while democratic governments have intermittently taken up power since the late 1980s. Military influence has remained strong in various aspects of the governance. The 1999 military coup led by the General Pervez Musharraf brought another period of military rule which lasted until 2008. During this time, Musharraf consolidated power and the military's role in shaping domestic and foreign policy was further solidified. Despite the return to civilian rule after Musharraf's resignation, the military continues to uphold substantial power behind the scene. Let's talk about the military's role in Pakistan's governance. The military in Pakistan has always viewed itself as the ultimate defender of the country's sovereignty and integrity, especially given the challenges posed by its eastern neighbor India and the ongoing conflicts in Afghanistan. Over the years, the military has gained control over key national security and foreign policy areas, often overshadowing civilian leadership. This influence is especially evident in areas like defense, counterterrorism, and nuclear policy, where the military has a dominant role in decision making. The military's involvement in the economy has also been significant, with the armed forces controlling large sections of the business sector, including industries, infrastructure, and agriculture. Military run enterprises and businesses are a crucial part of Pakistan's economy, providing the military with both economic resources and political leverage. The military's economic influence extends to sectors like construction, telecommunications, and manufacturing, which has led to concerns about the limited role of civilian governments in shaping economic policy. Then, civilian leadership and political instability. Civilian governments in Pakistan have often struggled to assert their authority over the military, resulting in frequent political instability. While elected governments have been able to pass laws and enact policies, their ability to effectively challenge the military's influence has been limited. Moreover, civilian governments in Pakistan have often been ousted through the military coups or pressured into cooperating with the military in order to maintain power. Political instability and the perceived ineffectiveness of civilian leadership have at times led to greater public reliance on the military to restore order and provide stability. This has further reinforced the military's grip on power, while political parties have worked to strengthen democratic institutions. The constant intervention by the military in national politics has hindered the development of a stable and effective civilian system of governance. Now we'll check the impact of civil military relations on democracy. The frequent military interventions in politics have posed a significant challenges to the development of democratic institutions in Pakistan. While civilian governments have been restored periodically, they often face challenges in exercising full control over the country's political and economic systems. This has contributed to a uh, uh, weakened democratic culture where transitions are often mediated by the military rather than through democratic processes. So, Pakistan's democratic institutions, including the judiciary, media, and parliament, have at times been undermined by the military's political role. The military's direct and indirect influence over these institutions has affected the independence of the judiciary and the effectiveness of the legislature and the freedom of the press. Despite the constitutional framework that guarantees civilian supremacy, the military has maintained an entrenched position of power, which has prevented the establishment of functional democracy. Now we will discuss recent developments and shifting dynamics. In recent years, there have been efforts to reduce the military's influence in Pakistan's political system. The return to democratic rule after the end of the military rule in 2008, coupled with the growth of civil society and a more vibrant media, has led to increasing pressure for civilian control over state institutions. Political parties have sought to assert their authority and reduce the military's involvement in domestic politics. However, despite these efforts, the military remains a central force in the political arena, especially in key areas of national security and foreign policy. The military's role in counterterrorism operations, its strategic alliances with countries like China and the United States, and its control over the nuclear arsenal continue to give it significant leverage. Additionally, the military's presence in the economic sphere and its influence over policy decisions ensure that it remains a dominant actor in Pakistan's governance. Now we will conclude the whole chapter in a paragraph. Civil military relations in Pakistan are complex and have played significant role in country's political history. The military the military's involvement in politics has shaped the trajectory of Pakistan's democracy and governance, often undermining civilian authority and institutions. While there have been efforts to curb military influence and strengthen democratic governance, the military continues to play a pivotal role in key areas of the national policy. As Pakistan navigates its political future, the balance between civilian leadership and military power will remain a critical issue in shaping the country's political landscape, governance, and democracy. Now we are going to start seventh topic, which is economic challenges in Pakistan. First, we talk about the introduction, where Pakistan's economy faces numerous challenges, ranging from structural issues to external pressures, which have hindered sustainable growth and development. Despite being one of the largest economies in South Asia, Pakistan has struggled with high inflation, unemployment, poverty, and a large informal economy. The country's economic vulnerabilities have been exacerbated by the political instability, inadequate infrastructure, and energy shortages and security concerns. Understanding the various economic challenges that Pakistan faces is crucial for developing policies that can promote long term economic stability and growth. First one is inflation and rising cost of living. One of the most persistent economic challenges in Pakistan is high inflation, which has significantly impacted the cost of living for ordinary citizens. Inflation in Pakistan has remained volatile, with sharp increase in food and fuel prices affecting households across the country. This has led to a decline in purchasing power, particularly for the lower income population, which constitutes a large proportion of the country's demographic. The inflationary pressures are driven by a combination of domestic factors such as supply chain disruptions, rising input costs, and currency depreciation, as well as global factors like fluctuations in commodity prices. The Central Bank of Pakistan has implemented various monetary policy measures to curb inflation, but it remains a major issue affecting everyday life for a million of people. Second is the unemployment and underemployment. Unemployment is another significant economic challenge in Pakistan. While the official unemployment rate may seem moderate, the issue of underemployment is widespread, particularly among youth and women. A significant portion of the workforce is engaged in low productivity jobs, especially in the informal sector where workers often lack job security, benefits, and fair wages. The, the country faces a rapidly growing youth population, many of whom are entering the labor market without the necessary skills or opportunities for meaningful employment. This has resulted in a mismatch between the skills possessed by the workforce and the demands of the economy, further exacerbating unemployment. Additionally, regional disparities in employment opportunities, particularly in the rural areas, contribute to the overall challenge. Third one is poverty and income inequality. Despite periods of economic growth, poverty remains a persistent issue in Pakistan, with a significant portion of population living below the poverty line. According to the various reports, uh, more than a quarter of Pakistan's population is estimated to live in poverty, with limited access to basic services such as healthcare, education, and clean drinking water. Income inequality is also a major concern, with a significant wealth gap between urban and rural areas. The concentration of wealth in a few hands has held to uneven economic development, where a large segment of the population continues to struggle for basic needs. Poverty and income inequality contribute to social unrest and can hinder overall national development by limiting access to education and employment opportunities for marginalized groups. Fourth challenge is energy crisis. Pakistan is one of the most pressuring challenges affecting its economy. The country faces a chronic power shortages, particularly during peak demand seasons, which have hindered industrial production, economic growth, and overall quality of life. Pakistan's energy infrastructure is outdated and inefficient, leading to frequent power outages and unreliable supply of electricity. The reliance on expensive fossil fuel imports combined with the underdeveloped domestic energy resources has further strained the energy sector. The government has made efforts to increase energy production, particularly through renewable resources like wind and solar, but energy inefficiencies and distribution issues continue to impact the economy. Additionally, the rising cost of energy has increased production cost for industries, making them less competitive in global markets. Fifth one is the fiscal deficits and national debt. Pakistan's fiscal deficit and national debt are major economic concerns that threaten the country's financial stability. The government has struggled to balance its budget, often relying on borrowing to meet its financial obligations. This has led to a rising national debt, which is a significant burden on the country's economy. The fiscal deficit is exacerbated by low tax collection, a narrow tax base, and inefficient use of government resources. Pakistan's debt servicing costs have become a major portion of the national budget, diverting resources from essential sectors like healthcare, education, and infrastructure. Additionally, the country's reliance on external loans from international financial institutions such as International Monetary Fund (IMF) further increases vulnerability to external economic shocks. Sixth one is external trade imbalances. Pakistan's external trade imbalance is another major challenge for the economy. The country has consistently experienced a trade deficit with imports far exceeding exports. Pakistan's primary exports include textiles, rice, and agricultural products, but the country remains heavily dependent on imports for energy, machinery, and consumer goods. The trade deficit has put pressure on Pakistan's foreign exchange reserves and contributed to the depreciation of the national currency. Pakistan's export sector faces challenges such as limited diversification, outdated technology, and global competition. Additionally, the country's agriculture sector, which has historically been a driver of exports, has suffered from inefficiencies, water shortages, and outdated farming practices. The lack of value added products in export sector further limits the potential for the export growth. Seventh economic challenge is weak infrastructure and transportation systems. Pakistan's infrastructure is inadequate for supporting long-term economic development. The country's road networks, railways, and ports are often outdated, poorly maintained, and if inefficient, which increases transportation costs, reduces the overall competitiveness of Pakistani goods in international markets. The country's cities are plagued by poor urban planning and inadequate waste management systems and limited access to reliable public transportation. Rural areas, in particular, face significant challenges in terms of access to infrastructure and basic services. Efforts have been made to improve infrastructure, particularly through projects like the China Pakistan Economic Corridor (CPEC), but progress has been slow. And there are concerns about the sustainability of such projects and their long term economic benefits. Eighth economic challenge is security concerns and political instability. Security concerns and political instability continue to undermine Pakistan's economic potential. Ongoing conflicts with neighboring India, the threat of the terrorism, and internal political unrest have deterred foreign investment and disrupted economic activities. The military's influence on politics, combined with frequent changes in civilian governments, has created an unstable political environment, which has hindered long term economic planning and reforms. In addition, political instability has led to a lack of continuity in economic policies and making it difficult to implement effective solutions to the country's economic problems. Now we will go to the conclusion. Here we can say Pakistan's economy faces multiple challenges that have hindered its growth and development. High inflation, unemployment, poverty, and income inequality are compounded by structural issues such as energy shortages, fiscal deficits, and external trade imbalances. Additionally, weak infrastructure, security concerns, and political instability continue to undermine economic progress Addressing these challenges will require comprehensive reforms in economic governance, greater investment in human capital, modernization of key sectors, election reforms, and efforts to foster political stability. Sustainable economic development in Pakistan will only be achievable through concerted efforts to address these multifaceted issues and create an environment conducive to long-term growth and prosperity. Thank you. Now we will discuss the next topic. Now we will discuss the eighth topic of the outline, which is the non-traditional security threats in Pakistan, role of non-state actors. Here it starts with introduction, where non-traditional security threats refer to challenges that are not related to military confrontations between states, but rather to issues that affect human security, economic stability, and societal well-being. In Pakistan, these threats have become increasingly important as the country faces a growing array of non-state actors who pose significant risks to national security. These actors, ranging from militant groups to criminal organizations, have disrupted governance, fueled violence, and undermined the rule of law. As traditional security concerns such as conflicts with neighboring countries remain critical, and non-traditional threats like terrorism, cyber attacks, organized crime, and environmental disasters have emerged as significant national security challenges. First one is terrorism and military groups. So here one of the most prominent non-traditional security threats to Pakistan has been terrorism, often perpetrated by non-state actors such as militant groups. These groups, many of which have ideological or political motives, have carried out numerous attacks on civilians, military personnel, and infrastructure. The rise of such groups in the 1980s and 1990s, particularly after the Afghan Kuwait War, created a network of militants who have continued to destabilize the country. Groups such as Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan (TTP), Lashkar-e-Taiba, and Jaish-e-Mohammed have been responsible for many high-profile terrorist attacks, including bombings, targeted killings, and assaults on military and civilian installations. These attacks not only lead to the loss of lives but also create an atmosphere of fear and uncertainty, hampering economic development and internal security. The activities of these non-state actors have strained Pakistan's relations with neighboring countries, especially India and Afghanistan, and have contributed to the global image of Pakistan as a haven for extremism. The roots of militancy in Pakistan are complex, involving a mix of ideological, socio-economic, and political factors. The proliferation of radical ideologies, poor governance, and economic marginalizations have allowed such groups to recruit from vulnerable segments of society, particularly the youth. Furthermore, the porous border with Afghanistan has allowed these groups to find sanctuaries, complicating efforts to combat terrorism. Counterterrorism strategies have been implemented, but the persistence of militancy and its evolving nature continues to challenge Pakistan's internal security. Second one is organized crime and drug trafficking, which is non-state actors in Pakistan are also involved in organized crime, including drug trafficking, human trafficking, and smuggling. Pakistan's location, bordering Afghanistan, a major producer of opium, has made the country a key transit point for drug trafficking. The flow of narcotics, particularly heroin, not only contributes to global drug trade but also undermines internal security by financing criminal enterprises and militant groups. Drug cartels and criminal syndicates often have links with terrorist organizations, providing them with resources for further destabilizing the region. Organized crime in Pakistan is also tied to human trafficking, smuggling of goods, and illicit trade in weapons. These activities, carried out by non state actors, contribute to the erosion of law and order in the country, creating environments where criminal organizations can thrive. The corrupting influence of these illegal networks further complicates governance and the justice system, making it harder to address broader issues of national security. Third one is cybersecurity threats. In recent years, the increasing reliance on technology has exposed Pakistan to non-traditional security threats in form of the cyber attacks. Non-state actors, including hacktivist groups, criminal organizations, and even state-sponsored actors, are increasingly targeting Pakistan's digital infrastructure. These attacks have included cyber espionage, data theft, ransomware, and disruptions to critical services such as the energy grid, financial institutions, and government websites. Cybersecurity threats also extend to the spread of misinformation and online radicalization. Social media platforms have been exploited by militant groups to recruit members, spread propaganda, incite violence. These activities undermine social cohesion, spread fear, and pose challenges to enforcement agencies in countering cybercrimes. Pakistan's ability to protect its digital infrastructure and ensure cybersecurity has become a critical aspect of national security. Fourth one is environmental and health risks. Non-traditional security threats in Pakistan are not limited to human actors. Environmental and health risks, often exacerbated by non-state actors' actions, pose growing challenges to the country's stability. Pakistan is highly vulnerable to the impacts of climate change, including extreme weather events, floods, droughts, and rising temperatures. The country is also home to some of the world's most polluted cities, which contribute to health problems, social unrest, and economic disruption. Non-state actors such as industrial polluters and resource exploiters contribute to environmental degradation, worsening the situation. The health sector is similarly impacted by non-state actors, particularly in areas such as counterfeit medicines, unregulated healthcare providers, and the spread of infectious diseases. The lack of effective monitoring and regulation allows non-state actors to profit from unsafe practices, which undermines public health and creates additional burdens on the country's health care. So here, the fifth point, which is also a challenge, role of the non-state actors in social disruption. Non-state actors in Pakistan are also involved in social disruption, particularly through religious extremism, sectarian violence, and political instability. Religious groups and sectarian organizations have played a role in dividing communities along ethnic and religious lines, often using violence to assert their views. These actors exploit social and economic disparities to further their agendas, creating divisions in society that hinder national unity. Social media and the internet have also provided a platform for non state actors to influence public opinion, spread extremist ideologies, and incite violence. The challenge of managing social media's role in exacerbating sectarian, ethnic, and political tensions has become a significant issue for Pakistan's internal security. Now we are going to conclude it. So, non-traditional security threats in Pakistan, fueled by a variety of non-state actors, have had a profound impact on the country's stability. Terrorism, organized crime, cybersecurity risks, environmental challenges, and social disruptions are all part of the broader security landscape that Pakistan must address. These threats often transcend borders and require a coordinated approach involving law enforcement, military action, international cooperation, and societal resilience. While Pakistan has made efforts to combat these threats, the role of non-state actors remain a critical challenge in maintaining long-term peace and stability. The country's ability to address these security challenges will determine its future trajectory, both domestically and in its relationship with the wider world. So now we are going to discuss the ninth point of uh, syllabus, which is Pakistan's role in region. We will start with the introduction, where Pakistan's role in region is shaped by its strategic location, historical relationships and security concerns. Situated at the crossroads of South Asia, Central Asia, and the Middle East, Pakistan plays a crucial role in regional politics, security, and economic development. The country's foreign policy is deeply influenced by its relations with neighboring countries such as India, Afghanistan, and China, as well as its participation in regional organizations like the South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation (SAARC) and the Shanghai Cooperation Organization (SCO) and the Economic Cooperation Organization (ECO). Pakistan's role in regional affairs has also been shaped by its military capabilities, particularly its nuclear weapons and its economic potential, which can either be a force for regional stability or a point of contention. So, first one is the Pakistan-India relations and regional security. Here, Pakistan's relationship with India has historically been one of the rivalry and conflict, primarily due to the long standing territorial dispute over Kashmir, which has led to three wars since 1947 and several military skirmishes. The two countries share a tense border and nuclear deterrence, which has altered the security dynamics in the region. Despite this, both nations are significant players in regional security and economics. Pakistan's policy toward India is driven by the need to secure its borders, address the Kashmir issue, and maintain a balance of power. While there have been occasional peace efforts and dialogue initiatives such as the Lahore Declaration and Shimla Agreement, relations remain marked by distrust, particularly after the incident like 2001 Indian Parliament attack and the 2016 Uri attack, which India blamed on Pakistan-based militants. So, Pakistan's role in the region is often defined in opposition to India, as the two countries compete for influence in South Asia, Afghanistan, and Central Asia. The presence of nuclear weapons on both sides has led to a delicate balance of power, with both nations seeking to strengthen their military and technological capabilities. The Kashmir dispute remains a major point of tension, but regional security is also influenced by the broader geopolitical environment, including the US India partnership, which Pakistan views with concern. Second, Afghanistan and the role of Pakistan. Pakistan's role in Afghanistan has been a central aspect of its regional foreign policy, particularly given the complex history of both countries. Pakistan has long been involved in Afghanistan's internal affairs, providing support to various factions, including the Taliban, in order to maintain a favorable regime in Kabul. The porous border, ethnic ties between Pashtuns in both countries, and Pakistan's strategic interest in ensuring a friendly government in Afghanistan have been driving forces behind its involvement. The security situation in Afghanistan, especially the rise of Taliban and the ongoing conflict with international forces, has also had significant repercussions for Pakistan. The presence of militancy in the region, including groups like the Tehrik-e-Taliban Pakistan (TTP), has led to cross-border terrorism and instability. Moreover, the US withdrawal from Afghanistan in 2021 left Pakistan in a complex situation, balancing its relations with the Taliban government and its need to maintain good relations with the international community, particularly the US and the other Western powers. Pakistan's role in the Afghanistan is multifaceted. On the other hand, on the one hand, Pakistan seeks to ensure that Afghanistan remains stable and does not serve as a launchpad for anti-Pakistan militants. On the other hand, it also has interests in maintaining influence over the Afghan government and ensuring that Afghanistan does not align too closely with India, which Pakistan perceives as a regional rival. Third is Pakistan-China relations and strategic partnership. One of the key aspects of Pakistan's regional strategy is its close relationship with China, which has been a cornerstone of its foreign policy for decades. The two countries share a strategic partnership that is based on mutual economic, military, and political interests. The China Pakistan Economic Corridor (CPEC), a major infrastructure project aimed at connecting Gwadar Port in Pakistan to China's Xinjiang region, is a prime example of their Deepening ties. CPEC is seen as a game changer for Pakistan's economy, offering potential access to Chinese markets, investment, and technology, while also giving China greater access to the Arabian Sea. China and Pakistan share common interests in countering US influence in the region and ensuring the stability of Afghanistan. The two countries have a history of supporting each other on various diplomatic fronts, including at the United Nations, where both often align on issues concerning Kashmir and regional security. Pakistan's relationship with China also serves as a counterbalance to its rivalry with India, as both China and Pakistan have contested borders with India. In terms of military cooperation, Pakistan benefits from China's defense technology, including missile systems, fighter aircraft, and naval capabilities. This relationship has given Pakistan a degree of security assurance, particularly in the face of India's military buildup. The growing economy The growing economic and military partnership with China has positioned Pakistan as a key player in regional geopolitics with implications for both South Asia and Central Asia. On fourth, Pakistan's role in regional organizations. Here, Pakistan is an active member of several regional organizations which play a significant role in shaping its foreign policy and regional influence. One of the primary organizations in South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation, SAARC, which includes other countries like India, Sri Lanka, Nepal, and Bangladesh. While SAARC's potential has been hindered by tensions between India and Pakistan, the organization remains an important platform for dialogue on issues such as trade, regional connectivity, and climate change. Pakistan is also a member of the Economic Cooperation Organization (ECO), which aims to promote regional cooperation and development among member states from South Asia, Central Asia, and the Middle East. The organization has focused on improving trade relations, transportation links, and economic integration, and Pakistan's role in ECO is critical to promoting regional stability and cooperation. Furthermore, Pakistan has been actively involved in the Shanghai Cooperation Organization (SCO), a multilateral platform that includes China, Russia, and Central Asian countries. The SCO is primarily focused on security, economic cooperation, and combating terrorism, and Pakistan's membership reflects its growing ties with China and its interest in regional security issues. Fifth one is regional stability and economic development. Here, Pakistan's role in regional stability is also tied to its economic development and the promotion of regional trade. The country's strategic location as a gateway between the Middle East, Central Asia, and South Asia provides significant potential for regional connectivity and economic cooperation. However, Pakistan's economic challenges, including energy shortages, political instability, and security concerns, have hindered its ability to fully leverage its geographic position. To enhance regional cooperation, Pakistan needs to foster stronger trade relations with its neighbors and improve infrastructure connectivity. Initiates like the China Pakistan Economic Corridor (CPEC) are seen as a key to boosting regional trade and economic development, particularly by connecting South Asia with Central Asia and the Middle East. However, to achieve its full potential, Pakistan must address internal economic challenges such as fiscal deficits, infrastructure bottlenecks, and political instability. So now we are going to discuss the conclusion. Let's see. Pakistan's role in the region is defined by its complex relationships with neighboring countries, its strategic partnerships, and its participation in regional organizations. The country faces significant challenges in terms of security, economic development, and regional cooperation. Pakistan's foreign policy is driven by the need to secure its borders, maintain influence in Afghanistan, counter India's regional dominance, and strengthen its partnership with China. At the same time, Pakistan must navigate regional tensions and internal economic issues to enhance its role as a regional power and contribute to the stability and prosperity of South Asia and beyond. Now we will discuss the 10th main heading of the syllabus, which is the Palestine issue, the most conflicted area in the world right now. So we will start from the introduction. Here we will say the Palestine issue remains one of the most enduring and complex conflicts in the international politics. Rooted in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, the conflict centers around competing national aspirations and territorial claims between the Palestinian Arabs and the Jewish people, especially over the land of historic Palestine, which is now the state of Israel, and the Palestinian territories of the West Bank and Gaza Strip. The struggle for Palestinian self-determination and the broader Arab-Israeli conflict has had profound implications not only for the Middle East but for the global politics. The issue is marked by the decades of violent confrontations, failed peace attempts, international involvement, and the struggle for the rights of the Palestinian people and including their right to statehood, freedom, and sovereignty. Now we will see the historical context and origins of the conflict. The roots of the Palestine issue can be traced back to the 19th century, When nationalist movements emerged among both the Jewish and Arab populations, Zionism, the Jewish nationalist movement, sought the establishment of a Jewish homeland in Palestine, then part of the Ottoman Empire. At the same time, Palestinian Arabs who had lived in the region for centuries began developing their own sense of national identity. The situation became more complicated with the influx of Jewish immigrants to Palestine during the early 20th century, especially following the Balfour Declaration of the 1917, in which the British government expressed support for the creation of a Jewish homeland in Palestine. After World War One, the British took control of Palestine under a League of Nations mandate. During this period, tensions between Jews and Arabs escalated due to rising Jewish immigration, land purchases by Zionist groups, and increasing Arab resistance to these developments. The British attempts to balance these competing demands failed, leading to violence and unrest. The United Nations in 1947 proposed a partition plan to resolve the conflict by dividing Palestine into separate Jewish and Arab states. That was the issue. That was the first divide and rule. So the Jewish leadership accepted the plan, but the Arab states and Palestinian Arab leaders rejected it, leading to the 1948 Arab-Israeli War. As a result, the state of Israel was established, and hundreds of thousands of Palestinians were displaced, creating a refugee crisis that continue to this day. So now on second heading, we will talk about the Arab-Israeli wars and occupation. Here, the creation of Israel in 1948 and the subsequent wars with neighboring Arab countries set the stage for the ongoing conflict. The first war in 1948 to 1949 ended with an armistice agreement and the establishment of Israel's borders. But the Palestinians were left without a state of their own. In the 1967 Six Day War, Israel occupied the West Bank, Gaza Strip, East Jerusalem, and the Golan Heights. This occupation further exacerbated the conflict as Palestinians living in these territories were subjected to Israeli military rule, settlement, construction, and restrictions on their movement and rights. The occupation of Palestinian territories remains a central issue in the conflict. The Israel settlement policies in the West Bank and the construction of separation barrier and the status of Jerusalem as the capital of both Israel and a future Palestinian state are among the most contentious issues. The displacement of Palestinians, the denial of their right to return to their homes, and the expansion of Israeli settlements have led to widespread criticism of Israeli policies and violations of international law. Then there is third heading, Palestinian resistance and the role of the PLO. So, in response to Israeli occupation, Palestinian resistance movements emerged. The Palestinian Liberation Organization (PLO), established in 1964, became the umbrella group for Palestinian political and military organizations. Under the leadership of the Yasser Arafat, the PLO sought to establish a Palestinian state through both diplomatic efforts and armed struggle. The PLO gained international recognition as the representative of the Palestinian people and become involved in peace negotiations with Israel, though the conflict remained unresolved. The Palestinian resistance has taken various forms, from armed attacks and terrorism to political diplomacy. Palestinian groups including Hamas, the Islamic Jihad movement, and the Popular Front for the Liberation of the Palestine (PFLP) have adopted different approaches to conflict, ranging from the violent resistance to political negotiations. Hamas, which took control of Gaza Strip in 2007, rejects Israel's right to exist and has been involved in several conflicts with Israel, while the PLO, through the Palestinian Authority (PA), has engaged in peace talks, most notably the Oslo Accords of the 1990s. Fourth one is international involvement and peace efforts. Numerous international efforts have been made to resolve the Palestinian issues, but that were not sincere. So, now including peace processes, negotiations, and initiatives by the United Nations, and regional powers. The most significant diplomatic effort was the Oslo Accords, which were signed in 1993 between Israel and the PLO. The accords led to the establishment of the Palestinian Authority and the recognition of the Israel by the PLO. However, the process stalled and key issues such as the status of Jerusalem, refugees, borders, and security were left unresolved. Actually, this development was to uh, for the uh, time gain for the Israel by the Western leaders to support Israel. So, the United States has played a central role in mediating peace efforts, but its close relationship with Israel has often led to perceptions of bias. Other international players, including the European Union, Russia, and Arab states, have also attempted to facilitate peace, but there has been little success in achieving a lasting two state solution. Failure of peace efforts, coupled with ongoing violence, has led to disillusionment among many Palestinians and Israelis alike, with some questioning the feasibility of a two state solution. Fifth one is the humanitarian crisis and Palestinian rights. The Palestinian people continue to face significant humanitarian challenges in the occupied territories. Palestinians experience widespread poverty, unemployment, and lack of access to basic services. The blockade of the Gaza Strip by Israel and Egypt has led to severe economic hardship and a lack of essential goods, including food, water, and medical supplies. The situation is compounded by the destruction of infrastructure, limited access to education and healthcare, and frequently military operations. The plight of Palestinian refugees remain one of the most enduring aspects of the conflict. Millions of Palestinians live in refugee camps across the Middle East, unable to return their ancestral homes in what is now Israel. The right of the return for Palestinian refugees is a key demand in any peace settlement, but Israel has opposed this. Not Israel, but in UN there is a master, okay, Western, especially US, citing concerns over maintaining its Jewish demographic majority. Sixth one is Jerusalem and religious significance. The state of Jerusalem is a core status of Jerusalem is a core issue in the Palestine conflict. Both Israelis and Palestinians claim the city as their capital, with Israel having declared the entire city as its undivided capital, a move that has not been recognized internationally. For Palestinians, East Jerusalem, which was occupied by Israel in 1967, is seen as the capital of their future state. The city holds immense religious significance for Muslims, Christians, and Jews, further complicating the issue. Now, the city is home to key religious sites such as the Al Aqsa Mosque, the Western Wall, and the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, which are sacred to their respective faiths. Control over these religious sites has been a point of conflict, with both sides accusing each other of attempting to alter the status quo. The international community, including the United Nations, has called for Jerusalem to be a shared capital in any peace agreement, but Israel's continued expansion of settlements in East Jerusalem has undermined these efforts. So, seventh one is the future of the Palestine issue. Here we will discuss about it in depth. So, the Palestine issue remains unresolved with little progress toward a just and lasting peace. The prospects for a two state solution, once seen as the most viable path to peace, have diminished due to ongoing settlement expansions, political divisions among Palestinians, and continued violence. Many Palestinians now view the creation of a viable and independent state as increasingly unlikely, while some Israelis fear the security implications of a Palestinian state. So, the international community remains divided on how to address the issue, with some countries supporting the two state solution and others advocating for a one state solution or different forms of reconciliation. The role of non governmental organizations, NGOs, civil society, grassroots movements in advocating for Palestinian rights continues to be an important aspect of the struggle for peace. Now we will discuss the conclusion, where the Palestine issue is one of the most complex and emotionally charged conflicts in modern history. The quest for Palestinian self-determination, the struggle for peace and justice, and the competing national aspirations of Israeli and Palestinian remain at the heart of the conflict. Despite numerous attempts at peace, the situation remains unresolved, with the people of Palestine continue to face hardship, ethnic cleansing, gen- you can say collective killing and genocide, displacement, destruction, and occupation. The resolution of the Palestine issue will require political will, international cooperation, and commitment to justice, equality, and human rights, and independent international organizations like United Nations, ICJ, and the good role of the international leaders for all parties involved. Thank you for watching. See you later. So we will discuss all remaining topics in next video. Thank you for watching. Allah Hafiz.